To wake up in the morning to the quiet of the cove and hear Aunt Bessie talking to herself, and to hear poor Uncle John mumbling wishes to O'Nell, it made me feel like everything was fine. I was born down by the water, it's here I'm gonna stay. I've searched for all the reasons why I should go away, but I haven't got the thirst for all those modern day toys, so I'll just take my chances with those saltwater joys. Following a little brook as it trickles to the shore in the autumn when the trees are flaming red, kicking leaves that fall around me, watching sunsets paint the hills, it's all I'll ever need to feel at home. This island that we cling to has been handed down with pride by folks who fought to live here, taking hardships all in stride, so I'll compliment her beauty, hold on to my goodbyes, and I'll stay and take my chances with those saltwater joys. How can I leave those mornings with the sunrise on the cove and the gulls like flies surrounding Clayton's wharf? Platter's Island wrapped in rainbow in the evening after fog, the ocean smells are perfume to my soul. Some go to where the buildings reach to meet the clouds, where warm and gentle people turn to swarming faceless crowds, so I'll do without their riches, glamour and the noise, and I'll stay and take my chances with those saltwater toys. Some go to where the buildings reach to meet the clouds, where warm and gentle people turn to swarming faceless crowds, so I'll do without their riches, glamour and the noise, and I'll stay and take my chances with those saltwater joys.
Good evening and welcome to This Week in Review. Tonight in our stories we have Terry Fox Run, School News Update, Curriculum Night at the School, Town Council Report. Please stay tuned for these stories after this.
After my accident, I still wanted to be independent. The Warhams have done so much for me in emotional and also financial support. There's always a way to do anything, and the Warhams, they'll help you along.
On Sunday, the annual Terry Fox Run was out. Ruth Tucker got the run off to a start after she welcomed everyone and done the opening. There were 75 people registered and $1,800 raised. The route was the same as in the previous years, with drink stands along the way provided by the Lioness Club. The students at Burgeo Academy will be having their run on the 28th of September as a part of Healthy Commotion Day.
Welcome to the 27th anniversary of the Terry Fox Marathon of Hope. Thank you to the volunteers who are here helping out. Thank you to the participants for coming. To the students who are here today, it's great to see you, especially when you're going to be doing another walk on the 28th of September at school. Some of you might be wondering what is not as many school children as usual. That's because they're having a separate run this year on the 28th of September. They'll be having their own run, but I do see some students, and welcome to all of you. When I look out over the crowd, there's one young lady I do miss, Tiffany Symes. Tiffany's been our Terry's team member for I don't know how many years, and she's graduated now. She's gone to university in St. John's, or school in St. John's, and so I'm sure she's thinking about us today and wishing she was here. I'm sure we wish she was here as well. Last year, our community, the school and the community run, we raised $2,964. And that is, you know, give yourselves a hand. Right? That's really the model for the run this year is the same as the one last year. I think we're going to keep this model from now on, according to what the foundation said. A single dream, a world of hope. And this model reminds us of Terry's dream. Terry dreamed of running across Canada and raising $1 from every Canadian citizen. And this model, a single dream, a world of hope, also reminds us of how the Terry Fox Run has spread throughout the world, and how hope for new cures and treatments of cancer have grown worldwide. Despite major advances in cancer treatment, cancer continues to touch many of us personally. And with that in mind, we have once again constructed our wall of hope to remember and pray for our loved ones who have been diagnosed with cancer. Let's bow our heads and pray. O Lord, we ask you to bless all who are sick and suffering. We ask you to bestow knowledge and wisdom upon scientists, doctors, and researchers, so that someday cures for all diseases may be found. Today we pray especially for victims of cancer. We ask you to bless the souls of the departed, and we pray today especially for Ansel Batcher, Doug Batcher, Gladys Slaney, Bert Spencer, Jim Spencer, Freeman Billard, Gord Hare, Henry Billard, Missy Billard, Jack Billard, Sim Billard, George Billard, Bill Ball, Blanche Ball, William Cooper, Leah Porter, George K. Skinner, Azel Tucker, Roland Tucker, Pat Dolomount, Harriet Strickland, Sharon Strickland, David Batcher, Walter Buckland, Louise Moulton, Naomi Strickland, Betty Buckland-Prosser, Austin Green, Lydia Foote, Mabel Billard, Kenneth Roberts, Sheila Billard, Roy Anderson, Albert Parsons, Kim Bobbitt, Mary Strickland, Cecil Ann, Hattie Ann, Bill Parsons, Arch Collier, Susie Collier, John Krant, Stella Burton, Edward Colburn, William Piercy, Sherry Porter, Norma Amon, James Roberts, Bernard James, Sandra Brace, Mabel Fudge, Lawrence Anderson, Vera Durnford, Alice Durnford, Sam Dalmouse, Loretta Billard, Sheila Billard, Kelvin Hare, Marigold Benight, Washburn Pink. We pray also for cancer survivors. We pray for people too sick to be here today. We pray for people silently fighting their own battles. And we pray for people who have hopefully beaten this disease. And today we pray for Gladys Mead, Louise Foote, Gerald Billard, Mariah Batcher, Judy Smith, Judy Billard, Susie Mead, Georgina Buckman, Lily Ann, Judy Fudge, George Krant, Hilda Krant, Tiffany Symes, Marg Ann, George Eric, Hubert Sims, Marlene Batcher, Queenie Benight, Isabel Dibben, Gladys Marsden, Clayton Dominic, Edith McDonald, Linda Skinner, Margaret Anderson, Irene Hillier, Trafina Randall, Clarence Moulton, Jim Lushman, Dave Early, Mabel Early, Norm Parsons, Gladys Marsden, Frank Spencer. Lord, bless all who have been diagnosed with cancer. Give them and their families strength to fight this and all diseases. In your name we pray. Amen. The run group is the same as in previous years. If you want to take a shortcut, that's entirely up to you. There are juice stands along the way, and when you come back, you'll get your little sticker showing you participate. And now, before we go, we're going to make a draw for a t-shirt that was diagnosed, that was paid for by the Lioness Club. They don't have a t-shirt and a juice stand for the year. So we thank the Virgin Lioness as well. The winner of the t-shirt is Cheyenne Pearson. Cheyenne Pearson. Now, Cheyenne, we don't have any t-shirts to fit you, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to order one. Okay, rather than give you one that you give to your mom, unless you want one. You want one for your mom? Okay. So I'll get a child's one for you, okay? And when I get it from, I'll just give you a call. So it's the papers. Yeah. If there's anybody else that wants to order a t-shirt, you may do so as well.
On Monday, I took my camera to the school and had an update with Mr. Penny.
Good afternoon. Thanks for coming in. I guess at first I have to apologize for being so late this year. A number of things been happening, and I'll get into that in a second. But I was hoping that this would be done the first week of the year, but now we're into our third week, and time has quickly gone by. But I guess better late than never. Also, last year I think at the end we didn't get too many done as I anticipated. So again, I'm hoping this year that once a month, or certainly every 6 or 7 weeks, that we can do this and give a little update on what's been happening. So I guess we'll get into it. A little bit of information, so hopefully it won't take too long. I guess the first thing is the summer work and what went on and things are at our school over the summer. And I'll just give a little bit of I guess information before that. Obviously, we had windows there that were leaking, and certainly on the bad weather side, the windows were a concern. And they've been leaking for a while, but the summer it got to a point where it had to be fixed. And when they were checking on that, there was some dampness that was found in the wall, down in the exterior cavities that they call it. And also there was a little bit of mold found, as Calvin reported on BBS a couple of weeks ago. Now, since that time, and certainly over the summer, there's been a number of groups, a number of people involved in it. I think that the community kind of got the feeling that it was done secretively. I was in contact with the school board at least once a week, if not more, during the summer. Nobody was allowed inside to a point. I know you guys were asked not to come in and whatnot. Now, there's still things on the go where the library was open for most of the summer. We still had a summer program. When it was all said and done, with everything was found, the school is safe, and that came from a number of companies, and I'll kind of go through them a little bit. One group, Alltech, which was an environmental firm that were on 3 occasions, and basically they did inspections of our school, and they had said at every one of those 3, the dates I have here was they were July the 17th, July 24th, and August the 6th. And they seen no problems whatsoever with we had, like I said, we continued our summer school. We had our janitors there working the summer and other people, and they were of the opinion that everything was safe. Also, along with them, occupational health and safety was there on a number of occasions, and again, they also relayed the same information to the school board and through me that the school was safe. The Department of Education had members there. I know David Noel, who's been kind of overseeing most of this process this summer, very involved. He traveled back from St. John's on a number of occasions, but again, the school was very safe. It was cleaned up. All materials, wet materials that need to be taken out was taken out, and then it was plastered, painted, and all that stuff. And again, there should be an inspection again a little bit later this year, I've been told, and also in the next year. So right now, as far as I'm concerned, the school is safe. They've been through the school on a number of occasions, and they feel that it's safe for the kids and for everyone that's involved there. There's also another group called PowerVac was in 2 weekends ago, and they went through the ventilation system, and they found nothing in our ventilation system. Actually, there was, and I seen the video of it, there was still actually fingerprints and footprints from when the building was first made. So no materials, and after some construction, that's what they do. They are a company to come out and to check on the ventilation system. And so right now, everything is, from the school board's opinion and my opinion, that it's safe. And Calvin has been in contact with Brian Feltham at our school board, and he's been information provided to him on what's been happening since the time that even since the time that Calvin did the interview here in town. So, and I won't say, I guess, what his comments were, but it seems that he is satisfied. Seems to be with what's happened since that time. And I also would say that if there's any concerns, any questions, I need to know in order to bring it to the school board. Our school council also met on 2 occasions. We've discussed it. Concerns have been taken from them. I know Florence, Courtney, and myself had a teleconference with 2 members of our board office on Friday before, 2 Fridays ago. And again, the school board is of the opinion that everything is safe here. But if there's any questions or concerns, I need to know in order to bring it back to the school board. So by all means, give me a call anytime during the school day, and if I'm in class or whatnot, I'm sure I'll get back to you as soon as I can. Along with that, just other information of things coming up and some things that have also been done here. I spoke about our school council. We're looking for 2 more members of our school council. One will be a parent representative and one is a community representative. The deadline for nominations for that is September 28th. And I would ask that parents, guardians, and whatnot, please get involved with community members that they usually run for 2 or 3 year terms. So if you want to be a part of that, by all means, let us know. And if we get more than enough nominations, we would have an election very shortly after that. But and again, like I said, going back to the concerns we've had with our school over the summer and whatnot. The school council is a big part in dealing with that and discussing the issues and hopefully get the answers that we needed from that. So, you know, school council is certainly a very important part of our school, and we're looking for those 2 members. Again, just to remind everyone that our school grounds is smoke-free. There's 2 signs been put up the first week of school, and that's for all the community, not only the kids. They know they can't smoke on school grounds, but during concerts or anything that's happening in our school, if you're attending the library, the school grounds are smoke-free 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, and I would appreciate everybody's cooperation with that. Also, over the past week or so, we've, in the past 3 or 4 years, we've had issues with parking in front. So what we've done is we've now had some painting of lines and whatnot, no parking signs painted on our driveway in front of the school, and I asked the parents to please stay away from those areas. When parking, it seems like lunchtime is a real concern here, that a lot of parents want to pick up their child, and they're not using the proper parking place in front of the school, and I think there's plenty of parking spaces even down by the gym. The ones in front of our primary elementary wing are very rarely used. A lot of parents want to park on the side of the road there. I guess they want to get out very quick, but usually I'm the last person to leave here at lunchtime, usually, and the bell goes at 12:05, and in 3 minutes I'm on my way, so there's no real rush to be the first one out. So please obey those regulations, and I will also have the RCMP checking on that as well. So, and we don't want to go any further than that. Obviously now something new for our grade 9 to 12 students and parents is that our textbooks are free now this year. So that means that textbooks are free from K to 12. There's no school fees. But I would just caution parents that if students lose textbooks, especially in junior and senior high, they are required now to purchase the other one if they happen to lose one, and they should come back in June in decent shape. Students are going to write in them, they're going to run them for studying, and that's fine, and underlining things, I don't have a problem with that. It's just that not to destroy the book or mark it up with, well, I call it garbage or graffiti or whatever word you want to use, but if they come back in unsatisfactory conditions, parents may be charged with replacing those books. So there's no reason why in June they all can't come back and be used in for other years. Now obviously as years go by, they're going to get worn out, and then they will be replaced from the government and so on. But they are free, which is I'm sure a big help to all the parents. So let's keep it free and make sure students are using the books for what they're supposed to. Monday night pass. Well, actually tonight, the day we're doing this, is our curriculum night, so I'm hoping I'm going to get a big crowd of parents out for that and to meet our new teachers. We have a number of new teachers, actually 6 new teachers on our staff. So out of 16 bodies, that's a fair big turnover from last year. We have a new VP and also a teacher returning from last year. Ms. Melody Muse is our new VP this year. Mrs. Katie Warren now is returned as a French teacher, and we have Ryan Froud, who is a new music teacher, Tanya Hayes, the new math teacher, Larry Short, who's transferred here from Great River, he's the grade 4-5 teacher, Sheldon Shears, he's an half-time teacher with us for special services, and he will be mainly dealing with students in grades 6 to 9 for special services. Andrew Martin is our new phys ed teacher. And finally, Dana Pink is half-time high school English, grade 6 in high school English, and half-time special services for K to 5. So, again, certainly a new year, a lot of new faces. So, and I want to say the first 3 weeks have gone very well, and I expect to remain the same throughout. Along with our, I guess, tobacco policy, as a nutrition policy, again, a reminder that of our canteen and our snack program. All foods that will be sold or given to our students must follow according to the guidelines from the Department of Education. And again, I would kind of educate parents if kids are staying for lunch, while we're not allowed to stop them from bringing in like pop or chips, maybe a bottle of water or juice and something other than chips. I think we need to educate our kids that healthy eating, at least for most of the time, is certainly a good thing. And I mean, during the year, I mean, we'll have different parties, or Valentine's party, Christmas party. Like last year, we really cut down on the junk food and the unhealthy food, but doesn't mean that we will never see cake or cookies here again. But we did well with it last year, and I'm expecting the same again this year. We've had a couple fire drills so far the year. I asked that parents, certainly of kindergarten kids, to kind of explain to them about the fire drills. I know Mrs. Penny has, but it could be a little bit nervous for them with the alarm going and leaving. But I must say that it was amazing that our first fire drill, the students were out in 1 minute and 25 seconds. The teachers knew at that time. The next day we had one where nobody knew, and they were out in 1 minute and 5 seconds. So that means it actually increased 20 seconds when nobody knew. So certainly very encouraging, and I'm hoping over the coming weeks, before the weather gets too bad, that we'll probably have 1 or 2 more. A new safety procedure that's come into effect, and if anybody been watching the news in the past, it's come into effect in St. John's. It's something called lockdown procedures. It's certainly a very scary topic, one that I don't like talking about, but it's one that we need to. And I during the first assembly of the year, I did speak to the grade 7 to 12 students. I haven't spoken to the K to 5 or K to 6 students yet about it. But mainly what we're going to get into is it'll be another plan like a fire drill set up that in case someone comes around the building or into the building, that could do harm to anybody that's here. This is something being set up by the RCMP that will be required to have a plan in place. And again, like I said, it's a very scary topic, but one that we all need to be aware of. And we all know where it's coming from. I mean, it's the number of school shootings that have been happening in the States and certainly in Canada in the past couple of years. And just because we're living in Burgeo doesn't mean that it can't happen here. And we have to be ready for that. So right now, the plan is not completely in place yet, but it will probably go along the lines of something as a practice, and certainly, God forbid, it never happens, obviously, but if it do happen, is that someone will come on the PA, say that there will be a lockdown in place. All doors will be shut, locked. Students will be down on the floor. Windows curtains will be over the windows, but I mean, again, we know why that's in place. There's some concerns I have with respect to our first floor, where it's open to the library and a lot of the community itself. Kind of juggling that and locking that down as soon as possible may create some problems for us, but something we'll try to work on over the coming weeks with the RCMP and the school board. So, and again, parents, certainly of the primary elementary students, probably take some time and talk to your kids about what's going to be coming up. Like I said, we'll try to do it in a way that won't be scaring those kids, but again, a very important topic that need to be done. Just a couple of other things that's coming up. October the 30th, class pictures will be done in individual pictures. Day before Halloween, so I'm sure no one will forget that. We have a number of bingos coming up. Again, it's our main fundraiser for the year. Our snack program will have one coming up now on September 26th, so on Wednesday. And we have one in November, one in February, and one in May. And I would again encourage all parents and students to sell as many of them. They get basically 3 or 2, depending on if there's 2 kids in the family. They get 3 or 2 packs of bingo cards, and there's no reason why we can't sell them all. And again, that money goes right back into items we need here that the board don't provide us, or the department don't. So I mean, we could be looking at computer monitors, just supplies, art supplies. I mean, a lot of things there that like I said, we're responsible for paying, and with no school fees. Some that do kind of causes a little bit of a struggle with the finances. So just for everybody, keep that in mind and do their part. And also on the last note, the recycling. Every second Friday or so, we still do recycling. I think we could be doing a little better, but I want to thank everyone for bringing in the recycling, and hopefully it will continue. And it was done very fast, I know, but I think that for the most part, that's it. I'm sure I've forgotten some stuff, but again, as we do this another month or so, whatever I forget, I'm sure we will bring up.
Monday night was curriculum night at the school. This was an opportunity for parents and guardians to meet their child's teacher and view the outline of the year's courses. Try your luck and play TV Bingo on Wednesday, sponsored by the Snack Program. Cards are 6 for $5 and can be purchased from any student of Burgeo Academy, Snack Program volunteers, or in many stores around town. This week Bingo is worth $500. BBS is looking for new volunteers. If you like working with cameras and other video equipment and would like to become a part of the BBS volunteer team, come by the office to fill out an application or call Maxine at 886-2935. Youths in grade 8 and older and adults are welcome to join. BBS would like to remind customers who are paying their cable and or internet fees through electronic banking to make sure that they have the correct account number. There is a different account number for cable and internet. If you are unsure of your account number, please call the BBS office at 886-2935. Customers are also advised that the correct amount for their cable is $21.80, and if you have channel 25, it's $32.01. The internet fee is $34.14 per month. Mayor George Reed came by the studio with his town council report.
Good evening. We had a council meeting on Wednesday, September the 19th, and I'll give you a report of, I guess, what happened at council. The water treatment plant. Well, that's progressing ahead, rather slowly, but it's going ahead. We have a meeting on September the 27th with the engineer, town engineer, and with the manager from the Western Division Municipal Services. We have a meeting at 2 p.m. hopefully to set out a time schedule of when the water work is going to start, or when it's going to be tenders are going to be called, and so on and so forth. So hopefully after next week we'll have a better idea of a time schedule for our water treatment plant. The other thing about the claim that we have in against the insurance companies and the builders of the fire that was up there at the treatment plant, that's still ongoing. Very slow process. Talking to the lawyers just a couple of days ago, and they said it's normal at the pace that it's working, moving ahead. It's normal for it to be taking this long. So we'll continue to push that. You probably already know that the tenders for the ferry terminal is going to be in the papers, I think, on September 26th. The brush cutting, some of you have been out over the Burgeo Highway. I've seen that they've started on the brush cutting there. I think they were supposed to start on the 26th of August, and my understanding is that they're supposed to be finished by the end of October. But the last time I was out there, which was about a week ago, they have not made much progress. Council has written a letter to the regional manager concerning our concerns about the speed of this brush cutting, because if they're going to be finished by the end of October, then they certainly are going to have to put more speed on. If any of you people are not satisfied with the speed or with what they're doing, then by all means pick up the phone and phone your objection to it. I'll give you a phone number now. So it's 637-2505. I'll repeat that, 637-2505. If you don't like the speed at which they're doing that, or the way they're doing it, by all means, call that number and express your concern. The beautification winners have been announced. Probably, I guess most people know already, but first place went to Lauren and Barbara Pink. Second place went to Craig, Linda, and Patty Riggets. And third place went to Bruce and Beverly Vatcher. There are 9 entries altogether, and these were the winners, but I'm sure you all realize that you're all winners because your land and your property looks very, very nice. I've seen quite a few of them around town, and in fact, I wish my property was done. It was as nice as what a lot of you people got done. You're showing great respect for your property, and you must be putting in a lot of time on it because it does look nice. And a couple of weeks ago, I was around to a number of communities on this island, of course, in Newfoundland, and I've found that right here in Burgeo, you probably got some of the best kept property any town this size and larger. So you should take great pride in that because it does look well. The driver examiner, I think he's been out now since we've complained. I think they've gotten to the root of the matter, and I think the people in authority have tried to correct the fact that he wasn't coming once a month. So I think from now on you will see him here once a month. And if the examiner doesn't come, or if he's not coming often enough, and you feel that you had to wait too long for this, then by all means, again, pick up the phone, and I'll give you a number for that. It's 637-2387. 637-2387. And if you feel that we're not getting good enough service with the driver examiner, by all means, pick up the phone and register your complaint directly. Of course, you know what they say, of course, the squeaky wheel gets the grease, and perhaps that's what we got to do. This year so far, there's been 154 building permits issued, which is about 6 less than for the whole of last year. So on October the 11th, there's going to be a meeting. I'm not sure exactly where it's going to be, but it'll be announced on, I would assume, on Channel 10 as the future moves on. It's the Eastern Habitat Joint Venture. You probably know a little bit about that. That's the group that concerns the sea ducks, and building the boxes and that, and trying to get the population of the sea ducks to increase. So they're going to be in town on October the 11th. If you wish to attend that, and I'm sure they would appreciate seeing you. Got to bring up there was some concern about the crosswalks in Burgeo, particularly the school crosswalks and the school zone. Right out there by BBS, there's a school zone crosswalk there, and up by B&B, there's another school crosswalk. My understanding is that within these crosswalks, within that space there, between these two crosswalks, the speed limit is only 20 kilometers. In particular, when the school is in session, that is, of course, between 8 in the morning and probably 4 or 5 in the afternoon. I'm not sure if that's the law or not, but it's my understanding that you have to be going no more than 20 kilometers in that school zone. you should be very, very careful there because there's a couple tricky places there, which you know as well as I do. One is by the pharmacy there. It's a very, very tricky spot there. Almost a blind corner, I guess, particularly when people are parked at the pharmacy on that side of the road where the building is to. So you had to be very, very carefully coming out of that school road, and of course very carefully coming down the main road because it looks like to me it's an accident waiting to happen there. So certainly would ask everyone to pay strict attention to it. Of course, and the other one, of course, is turning in up there by where it turns into School Road there from the main road. That's a pretty tricky spot there too. There's a fair-sized turn there, of course, by the B&B. So we'll ask you to please be careful when you're driving in these areas because one accident, of course, is one accident too many, and no one, of course, would want to hurt any of these children for sure. So be very, very careful. Of course, we're still on a boil order for our water. That we're trying to get the chlorine reading higher on the water, but for some reason or other, we haven't been able to get an higher reading. So we're still on boil order. You'll be notified on channel 10 when that order is lifted. We're having some complaints about dogs. There are a few people who, for some strange reason, of course, it seems like when there's no dogs running around, there are one or two people think that, well, you know, I'll let my dog run because there's no other dogs running, and one little dog in Burjo is not much to be running. But that's not the point. The point is, you know, no dog should be running. Not one dog. You know, not your dog. Your dog is no different than any other dog. So, you know, obey the town laws here is that dogs must be under control and they're not to be out just running around over town. The other probably more serious, I suppose, to a point is because it's interfering with everyone's when they're walking around, particularly when they're walking around with kids or walking themselves and that's dog waste. People will take their dogs, put them on a leash, take them around town, and let them go and do their business on someone else's property or on the town property. And they seem to think that that's fine. You know, that's a nice thing to do. Dog didn't do it on my property, so let them do it on the church's property. Let them do it on the museum property. Let them do it on the playground or on the sidewalk, and that's fine. So they do that, and then they walk away from it. But you know that is not acceptable. What you should do is take these little bags with you and just pick it up and take it back and dispose of it. I suppose it's not a very nice thing to do, but I'm telling you, if you weren't in Burjo, if you were in some of the centers that I've been into, and I'm sure some of you people have too, you just got to do it. You just got to do it. If you get caught not doing it, you know, in other words, your dog makes a mess and you don't clean up, you're in for a fine. So please keep your dog home till he does what he got to do, and then take him out for a walk. Or if you're going to take him out for a walk, be prepared to pick up after your dog. Water leaks. We probably have had the most water leaks that we've ever had in town. We've had them this year. As you've seen them around. Town council workers have been busy just about all summer repairing leaks, and they're still repairing them. I would like to thank the people who have phoned in to report leaks, because in a number of these leaks, seems like they've been ongoing probably even for years. And we just found out, like this week, for example, about one that's probably been ongoing for years. We didn't know anything about it, and the person who had the leak just thought it was normal runoff from, just from after rains and that. So if you got a leak that is continuous, even in dry periods, you should pick up the phone and phone the town manager, because you never know. It could be someone's water line is leaking. Could be your own, but could be someone else's. Could even be, a long ways away, 4 or 5 houses away probably. You get the water finds itself into your basement or by your door. So thank you very much for those people who were kind enough or diligent enough or observant enough to take the time to phone in and tell the town manager about that. And I hope that you will continue to do so if you think that there's a leak in your area or anywhere we're using that you've seen a leak.
This concludes our programming for tonight. Thank you for watching. Good night.